Yeah, that's just being a hypocrite. When you eat meat, that doesn't affirm any proposition,
That
so that
literally
wouldn't be
is
a
what a
performative
performative
contradiction.
contradiction
That's
That
what.
is.
would
Wait.
be a tu
So hold on.
quoque fallacy.
So hold on a second. So, true or false? Is it the case that there are different types of performative contradictions?
I don't know. The way I understand performative
You
That's
don't
so
know?
fucking
contradictions
stupid.
is that it comes from argumentation
Wait,
ethics.
sorry. So before this conversation, Hi, were you under the assumption that there was like some univocal use of the term performative contradiction or like some universal use of the term? Did you think
Yes,
that
I
before
thought
this
it was
conversation?
from argumentation
Oh, you
ethics.
thought, okay. And you thought that there was like a univocal use of the term in argumentation theory?
No, there's a specific paper on argumentation ethics that says when you
A
enter a
specific
debate,
paper?
yeah, when you enter a debate, you affirm certain propositions, and eating
Hmm.
meat, that doesn't affirm any propositions, so
Oh,
it
okay.
can't be a
So all
performative contradictions.
your challenge here against Mike is basically saying, "Hey, Mike, according to this paper, this only specific paper that I read, it's not a performative contradiction." That was your contention.
Yeah,
And how is this supposed to be a contention?
well, because if you're using the term performative contradiction, I guess in that sense,
Which
that
is
would
not a
just be being a
univocal term, by the
hypocrite.
way.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that a contradiction. That's just being a
You do you
hypocrite.
understand that hypocrisy in argumentation theory is interpreted as a type of inconsistency? Did you know that?
No.
Now,
No,
hi, if
you
I'm
didn't know that? Okay. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay. There's different types of performative contradictions that you can have, right? So the most common ones are what's called like self-referential statements where they're actively being denied, right? So for example, if you say it's not the case that any sentence is true, or sorry, it's not the case that any sentences are meaningful. That would be an example of a self-referential statement, which you're actively denying, because presumably you think it's meaningful that you even uttered that sentence to begin with. Okay. And then you have denial of actions, right? Like, for example, the example that Michael gave, Catholic Mike, I should say, right? Where you're, affirming veganism, but you're simultaneously eating meat at the same time, right? So you're explicitly denying something that you're clearly saying that you shouldn't be doing, right? Through a mode of action, which is a type of inconsistency within your belief set, right? And then you also have epistemic contradictions, right? Where let's say you deny the possibility of belief or knowledge or something like that. When you say no one can know anything, that's going to be a self-performative contradiction, because presumably you think that you know that to be the case. Do you understand?
Yeah,
Now, the
okay.
common trend between all of these is that there's an inconsistency between two,
So do you just reject the
either
tu quoque
belief.
fallacy then?
How is that, or what part of anything that I said would be a rejection of tu quoque?
Well, because tu quoque says that someone is wrong because they act out of accordance with their beliefs. And in your view, that would be a performative contradiction.
That's not the Tukokei fallacy. It's
What?
stating that you shouldn't trust the person. It's making an argument that you shouldn't trust the view because this person, like, there's some kind of ill intent or like that. Do you remember when I said specifically that even a person that's a vegan that isn't actually, maybe they have a performative contradiction, it doesn't render the view not true? I was very clear to
So
add that language in there.
a contradictory
I don't
view can
wait.
still be true? Holy blunder.
First of all, I'm not sure. Like, it wasn't clear to me how you illustrated to me just a moment ago how any part of what I said is a denial of a tu quoque. But a tu quoque is a type of ad hom, and it's also a type of argument. It's a line of reasoning, actually, that people utilize. It's a fallacious one, but nevertheless, it's a type of reasoning where basically you attack the person's character or hypocrisy instead of the arguments,
Isn't that
right?
what you're doing by saying that they're in a performative contradiction? You're not really addressing what they have to say. You're just saying they're
But
acting out of accordance with their beliefs.
now you're making a different claim because you said that there was something that I said which implicitly denied a tu quoque, and I'm yet to hear the defense for that.
What I just told you.
No, you didn't.
This is like talking to a wall. I can't do this.
So you
I
clearly don't
agree,
think
especially when the wall isn't able to track the conversation which is happening, because for some reason you thought there was a univocal use of the term performative contradiction not even 30 seconds ago. And then I had to educate you just a moment ago on basically the different types of performative contradictions that you can have. So unless that wall is basically giving you free lessons, then I'm not sure what wall you're talking about.
No.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
clearly you
So
think that the
you should be
burning
thanking this
infertility
wall. You
lab.
should be thanking this wall for giving you that free philosophy lesson. So you don't make a blunder next time and say something as idiotic as there's like a univocal use of any term. In fact, most terms in our English language are not going to be univocal. You would
No.
know that if you know anything about philosophy.
I'll be honest, I don't know how you like debate people. I can't be mean to people. Like that makes me feel
That's
so bad.
fantastic. Thanks for letting me know that.
You're welcome.
Now, can you get back to the part where you said that there was something which I implicitly said, which is like a denial of a tukokwe? Now, I've told you what a tukokwe is, and a tukokwe is going to be a type of ad hom, which is also a type of inconsistency, right? So everything that you're saying is actually supporting my point in it just being that all of these things are just reflective of some type of inconsistency. It doesn't have to be an inconsistency between an affirmed proposition specifically. That's just a type of inconsistency, but you can be inconsistent in other ways. You can be inconsistent in a belief and an action. You can be inconsistent in two beliefs. You can be inconsistent in a belief and a motivation. There's several different ways that you can be inconsistent, right? So for you to assume that inconsistency is only specific to like propositions and oh, if you don't affirm a proposition when you're eating meat, therefore it's not an inconsistency, you're confused.
Do you think that the burning infertility lab example, high, is a valid argument then, reductio then, for pro-choicers to utilize? I'm just curious.
Sorry, what? I don't. I probably heard of that. I just don't know what you're referring to right now.
Yeah, so like where you have a choice, you can only go in and save like say 1,000 fetus or 1,000 frozen embryos or like the 1 5-year-old. Do you think that's a valid like reductio for pro-choicers to use?
Oh no, definitely not.
Okay, well I'll give you credit for being consistent about that, but I think a bunch of pro-choicers would probably disagree with you there.
Wait, say one more time, Mike. What did he say?
The burning infertility lab reductio that a lot of times pro-choicers use.
Oh
That's
yeah,
supposed to show that, well, if you pick the if you were to go in and pick like the or the 5-year-old, therefore it's not that you truly care about the embryos. Obviously, you care about the 5-year-old. Like
it already
under
has an
Ivy,
identity and
that wouldn't be a
personhood. Yeah,
valid reductio. They would just be committing some kind of fallacy there by bringing that up.
because the 5-year-old already has personhood and identity at that point in time. So obviously, yeah, that
Okay,
would
but
be
okay under the pro-choice view that someone could say that, right? I'm talking about the pro-choicer that's utilizing that to try to show some kind of performative contradiction in the pro-lifer.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
So, Hi, do you concede that you were just wrong about the fact that you thought that there was a univocal use of the term performative contradiction?
Um. Well, I think you can use it in different ways, but I think the way that I use the term has more meaning and is an actual contradiction.
Has more meaning? What does it mean for something to have more meaning?
By have more meaning, I mean is an actual contradiction. I don't think being a
An
hypocrite.
actual
I don't think
contradiction?
being a hypocrite is a contradiction.
I don't know, like, what you mean by contradiction in this case, and especially what you mean by actual contradiction. But you might be saying something trivial there when you say it has more meaning, because to me, it seems as if it's perfectly understandable what Mike is saying, and it's perfectly understandable what you are saying, and it's not as if one person means more than the other.
Yeah, all I mean by that is the performative contradiction and the way you're using it is not an actual contradiction. I don't take it to be a contradiction.
Do you think contradictions are only about propositions,
Yeah, I
or can you
think you
have
have to affirm
contradiction?
a proposition and then deny it. And I think you
Wait,
do
hold on a
that
second. So
informally in only one other way, and that's entering into an argument.
okay, so you think there are no such things as contradictions in the real world?
I don't know what you mean by that.
You don't know what I mean? Yeah. So, for example, like, do you have a house?
Yes.
Do you live in a? Your house is part of the real world. Your car, your mother, your father. Santa Claus is not part of the real world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean now?
No.
You what are you confused about?
What's the contradiction?
What do you mean contradiction?
You
You
just
asked me what I meant, but you said you didn't know what I mean when I say real world.
Oh no, I know what you mean by real world. I don't know what you mean by contradiction in the real world.
What part of that is? Do you know what a contradiction is?
Yeah.
Do you know what in the real world means?
Yeah.
Okay, so put those two things together, and that's the question.
But what does it mean to like have a contradiction in the real world? Isn't that just like is that like possible? Like I can I have an example?
What? I'm asking you if you think that there are no contradictions in the real world.
Uh, I guess not. I mean, there might be. I'm not sure. Maybe an example would help. That's what I'm asking.
There might be. Wait, hold on a second. So I thought you just said a moment ago that it's not even possible for contradictions to be about anything other than propositions. Is your mother a proposition?
No.
Okay. So if your mother was, let's say, promoting some way of life, out to the public, maybe she spoke at a seminar or something like that. She was promoting a way of life, and then she got home and did the exact opposite of everything that she was promoting. You wouldn't say that your mother is contradicting herself?
Um, I would say she's being a hypocrite. I wouldn't say she's like in contradiction. Maybe
So,
informally, I would say she's
so her
contradicting
so
herself.
her actions are not in contradictions with what she's preaching.
Yeah, I would say they are.
They are?
Yeah,
What makes that a contradiction?
because she's acting in accordance or acting in out of accordance with what she should be acting, I guess.
So there's going to be some type of inconsistency in a norm, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so you agree that contradictions can show up in different ways, even if they're not necessarily about propositions. Because even if your mom was, you can imagine an instance where your mom is like deaf, and she's not communicating in a manner as if she's speaking propositions, and could also be doing something or acting in a way which is inconsistent with that method of communication, correct?
Yeah.
And a contradiction would appear despite the fact that there's not necessarily any propositions which are being explicitly affirmed.
Yeah.
Great. So you agree with me that it's not the case that contradictions, in order for them to appear, that it necessarily has to appear in this formal format. It always has to be about a contradiction or an affirmation and a negation.
Okay, but then I don't understand. Do you just reject the two okay fallacy?
What? Jesus Christ, bro. Holy shit.
You understand, like, I don't understand how you're not getting that. Like, you can point out that someone is acting within her, like with a performative contradiction, and the idea is again that it doesn't render that the view is false just because there is a performative contradiction. But at least it's pointed out the same way if I'm pro-life and I'm going out and paying for someone to have abortions, I don't think too many pro-choicers would have an issue pointing out that somehow there's a performative
Okay, wait, I have a
contradiction.
question. So you're saying that someone's view could be contradictory, but still true?
Yeah, just
Okay,
because
that's
just
that's
because
okay.
they're
That's
not
no,
a
that's a blunder. Okay, I'm not hearing
that's
this.
definitely not
I'm
a
not hearing
blunder
this.
there.
That's a blunder
That how is that a blunder? If I'm
because that
stating that just
violates the
because I'm
law of like logics.
what
The
what
law
law
of
of
like
logic is violated there?
logics.
Yeah, I was gonna mention a specific law, but I'm too
Yeah,
drunk
what
for
law
that.
of logic is that violating? Name
I
the
don't
three
know,
laws
bro.
of logic.
Definitely
What's
one of
your
them,
question?
right? There's like four of them or something, right?
Yeah, probably one.
Which one?
Um. So contradictions are like, aren't they like false in like the law of
It's like
logic?
the law of like contradictions that are false. That one.
Yeah, there's probably a law of logic out
Yeah,
there
what's that? What is a
that affirms
contradiction?
what I'm saying. A contradiction is P and not P.
In this P and not P, but what else has to be part of that?
What?
Yeah, you realize there's more to that, right?
An and?
And not in the same sense. That's what that's going to be.
He
So,
has no idea what you're talking about, Catholic.
yeah, I think he's lost there. I also think if I'm stating something and I'm acting within not following what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that the view I hold is false. I could not be living up to it, right?
Well, you just said it
I
was
could be-
false.
I literally said that even if someone holds a view and they have a performative contradiction, meaning they're not living up to that particular standard, it doesn't render the view false.
Okay,
Did you not
but hold
catch
on.
that?
You might have said that, but then later you said a false view can still be, or a contradictory view can still be true.
No, that's not what I said.
You did say that.
added
You
it.
did. You did say that. I
No,
promised
I
you. You
didn't.
did say that.
You cut me off.
Even
I
if
don't
you
even
did
think
say
you
that,
understood.
you didn't adequately respond to it.
Like,
Like you
you
said, it
didn't-
violates the laws of logics, and then you said P and not P.
Yeah, there's
How does
probably a law of logic out there for that. I'm probably right.
Which is
Yeah.
I can literally just chat GBT this. It's not worth answering.
I mean,
Chat
if you're the
GPT,
one that's
yeah.
you're the one that's saying that it's like absurd to make the claim that there's at least one true contradiction. So presumably you'd have a defense for that. And if you're somebody who believes that, then you're probably of the belief that explosion is a problem for formal systems. And so you would have the burden to motivate that. How are you going to explain to Catholic Mike, right, that why can't there just be at least one true contradiction in a formal system? What's your response to dialetheism?
I don't have one because I don't know what
So
that
then
is.
why are you up here saying, oh my God, it's so crazy, and you have no defense for it?
Well, because I don't know. It sounds crazy.
Sounds crazy. Okay.
Yeah, Lit. How does matter and form interact? I want to hear your response.
They don't interact, you dumb bitch.
Okay. So therefore, hylomorphism is false.
Oh,
Bro confused Cartesianism with hylomorphism. Good job, buddy.
right.
The matter and form interact in hylomorphism. How do you think things change?
Yo, you're so
Stunlocked?
fucking stupid, bro.
Stunlocked? Literally, like if a statue melts, it's taking on a new accidental form. So literally, the form is going on the matter. So things are changing.
Bro, go
Hi, do you even know
read
anything
your
about
book.
logic? Like, do you even know, for example, what the standard Kripkean formulation is for a formal contradiction in classical logic?
No, I'm a CS student. I know a lot of CS stuff, but not logic.
Okay, man.
Yo,
So
what-
then why are you making these bold ass claims on logic, man?
I know a little bit about hylomorphism as well.
What do you know about hylomorphism?
I know that it's vulnerable to the interaction problem
Then how is it vulnerable to the interaction problem?
because when a statue melts, the accidental form switches, so therefore the matter and form interact, and you have to give a reason for that, and all reasons are kind of like
The
bad.
accidental form switches. What does that mean?
It means like one goes away and then another one like takes over.
One of what?
One accidental form goes away, like the accidental form of like the composed statue goes away.
What is an accidental form?
It's in like Aquinas's book. It's like what is it? It's like it's a form not essential to the substance.
Form not essential to the substance?
Yeah.
Okay, so some form which is not essential to the substance changes when the statue goes from a lump of clay to a statue. That's your claim.
Some form not essential to the substance changes. I think so, yeah.
And how is this supposed to be a problem for the view?
Well, because if non-essential traits can change, then that means accidental forms, or that means accidental forms can leave and enter matter. So that means they interact with matter to influence it in some way. Therefore, it's vulnerable to the interaction problem.
How did you explain the vulnerability?
Well, because there's an interaction,
Interaction between.
matter and form.
How is there an interaction between matter and form?
Well,
Are you
because a
equivocating
different
on form
accidental
then?
form makes it different.
So you're equivocating on form.
What?
Do you think when Aristotelians or Thomas Aquinas are making the claim that there's an interaction or some type of relationship between form and matter, that they're talking about an accidental form and matter? Is that what any Aristotelian means? Or is that just what you mean?
No, I mean, that's how things change. Prime
No,
form
answer
can't
my
change.
question.
What's the question?
Is that what any of them mean when they say there is this thing which is form and matter? You think they're talking about accidental forms?
Sometimes there's two types of forms.
When I'm talking about the metaphysical proposal, which relies on the act potency distinction. You're familiar with this, right?
Probably.
Probably. And you understand that in this proposal, it's not the case that they're referring to accidental forms. And the reason why the interaction problem is not even an issue for this kind of dualism is because it's not even it doesn't fall under the family of views which the interaction problem attacks. The interaction problem attacks specifically substance dualist oriented views, or just broadly somatic dualist oriented views. And if you're somebody like myself or Lit, you're not gonna take either of those views.
Well, I
Because
think
guess
it
what?
also impacts
Guess what?
hylomorphism.
Newsflash. There is no interaction at all.
There is, because things
insane,
change.
bro.
No, it's not. Look, it's not an interaction. It's just a synchronization on this view.
Synchronization. Okay, that sounds kind
Yeah.
of dumb. I'm not gonna lie. So they
It would
just
sound dumb to somebody who doesn't even know what law of logic contradictions are in contention with.
probably
Did we-
It would sound dumb to somebody like
probably
that.
the second one.
Oh, so you
Or the
read my
third.
comment. That's good. Yeah, it's the second one. And did we explain to this guy that two quoques are just forms of ad homs, as informal fallacies, and have to do with the character of an individual and not the actual view itself? Was that ever explained to this guy?
Yeah, I think I briefly brought it up when I talked about it being like a type of ad hom argument, which indicates an inconsistency.
Okay, perfect. So then what's the issue, Hyde? Do you think that, wait, does this guy know different types of performative contradictions?
No, he actually thought that there was like one universal use of the term. He thought it was like used in one way all the time. That's what he thought, actually.
Okay, wait. Let me lock and Google this.
Lock in real quick and realize that ad homs, right, and two quoques serving as forms of ad homs aren't the same thing as, like, say, a view simultaneously being affirmed and negated, right? It's concerned more with an individual and their character or behavior than the view itself. So when you talk about the second law of logic and contradictions being necessarily false, we have different types of contradictions here. So the view isn't what's necessarily false.
So the view isn't false. It's just how someone's behaving is false.
Yeah, I literally said
That's
that.
not
you
what
did.
you said.
I
That's the
literally
literal
said that.
opposite of what you
No.
said.
Wait. What did I
Okay,
say?
I'm waiting.
I said, okay, listen this time. I really want you to listen this time. I know that someone said you were drinking the comments. I don't know if that's true or not, but I really want you to lock in.
All right,
okay?
I'm locked in.
I said that having a performative contradiction, right, can be pointed out. It doesn't render the view that the view itself is not true. You can have a performative contradiction and the view can still be true that you hold just because you have a performative contradiction.
Okay, I just
But
wouldn't use the
people
term
will-
like that.
but
That's
people
it.
will point it out. I could be pro-life. I can think it's wrong to for abortion, right? But if I'm out paying for abortions, I have a performative contradiction there. Most pro-choicers are going to
You
agree with
should
that.
drink brie.
Or it's like if you were to say, look, I value sentience, but I think it's okay to like kill. I'm not vegan, and it's okay to kill animals.
That was the example I gave, was the vegan that's eating
Yeah.
meat. They have a performative contradiction there because they're eating meat. It doesn't mean that they have this performative contradiction and therefore veganism is false. Like if I was to make that
Right.
argument, you would be 100% justified in saying no, that doesn't render the view false, even if I'm inconsistent with my views.
Okay, if that's
Yeah.
what you're saying, then I don't.
That's
I
exactly
don't.
what I said. You never listened to
No,
me.
no, you did not say that the first time. You did
Okay,
not. I was
Kojo,
autistically hyperfixating on what you
Kojo,
said, and you did not say that
Kojo,
the
did I
first time.
not mention that a
I'm
number of
literally
times?
dead.
I mean, he's been saying this the whole time.
I
Literally the
guarantee.
whole time.
Bro,
Okay,
there's
well, we
a
don't
difference.
disagree. I just wouldn't use performative contradiction like in the hypocrisy sense. That's
That's
itself
what
a
it
disagree.
is.
Okay, so then your entire fucking motive for coming up here was like a verbal dispute. You were just like, I just wouldn't use the term in this way. Okay, cool.
No,
I mean,
I thought you were using the term like differently. I thought you were saying something else. Like
I
said.
literally said a performative contradiction doesn't make the view not true. I said that a number of times even before you came up. I put it in the comments.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's gonna depend
sure.
on the type of
I have the
performative
recording,
contradiction.
so I'll stitch it
Go
together so
back
you look
and
really
listen. You're
bad.
gonna find out how wrong you were. Even when you were up here, I said and when you were asking about the contradiction, what I was trying to tell you is I don't think that having a performative contradiction renders the view not true. That's when you started questioning me about contradictions because you weren't listening.
Okay.
but back to the conversation that we're having though, do you understand what I mean when I say that there is no such thing as an interaction problem for some hylomorphic views, just on the basis of the fact that there is no interaction between two substances?
Well, okay, if there is no interaction, then how would you account for like a statue melting? Because the way I understand it, a statue melts because one accidental form goes away and then another one replaces it. So the form influences the matter in some way. It's unlocked. Easy dub.
I'm sure that's what it is. Hi.
Yeah.
I want you to get the recording high, and I want you to apologize after this when you find out what I actually said.
We'll see. We'll see. If you said that one time, then I'm right. By the way, like I know you you might have misspoke, but you definitely said that at least once.
I'm gonna find it in the comments too. I'm gonna go back through.
He's actually stun locked. This is crazy.
Or he got a call. That could be it too, right?
No, if he got a call, he would like become a teacup, and he's not a teacup. Therefore, he's stun locked.
Yo, hi is so fucking stupid.
I'm locked in.
Yo, Lit, I might need a new diss track on this guy, dude.
But nobody knows who he is.
I don't want to
Oh,
be
yeah.
featured in that music. It's literally terrible.
That's right.
Here it is right here. I'll even copy it in it. This is where it's obvious. I said it right here. There you go. Look at that high.
What am I looking at? Oh, I see.
I had to go back pretty far to find that comment, but it was while I'm pretty sure you were still down in the comments when I said that too.
Bro, hi is so fucking stupid, bro.
Damn. I want to debate Sam.
Why?
We never finished our debate. Like I was like, this is how I joined like the Philbro community.
You guys like talked 1 year ago. She's moved off from this app to get a job and finish college. And you're
You
still
guys hear
thinking
me?
about finishing your debate with her. You're a fucking loser.
Yeah,
I
High
am a
thinks he
loser.
defeated you.
Hello.
High thinks he defeated
We're
you.
all
Kay.
losers, okay?
He thinks he defeated me.
Yeah, he thinks he had you stun locked.
He said that he thinks you're stun locked.
Just calm down, bro. Somebody came in my room and I was talking to him. But repeat your question.
Yeah, so how do things change in your view?
Change is just an actualization of a potential.
Change is just an actualization of a potential. So when a statue melts, what happens?
When a statue melts, the potential that it had to melt is actualized, and then a new form takes place.
Okay, so a new form does take place, right? So therefore,
Yes.
the new form influences the substance. Therefore,
Influences the substance. What is that? You're talking about the accidental form still.
yeah, the new form you mentioned.
And by influence, you mean?
By influence, I mean it comes together with the substance and then it makes something new.
Comes together. So what would be the accidental form in this case?
I don't know, well, like whatever the form is.
You're the one that's saying that it's like interacting with the matter. So I'm wondering, what are you referring to when you say the accidental form is referring to the matter? The shape?
I'm not understanding the question at all.
What is the accidental form of the statue? Is it the shape?
The accidental form of the statue
Yes.
would be the
Yes,
non-essential
it is.
properties
Which
of the
is
statue. Which
is
would
the
be
shape.
like, I mean, I guess it depends per statue.
It will be the shape.
Yeah, I guess the shape.
That's the obvious answer. Okay, so what are you saying here? The shape, what,
Yeah,
acts
the shape
on the
changes.
stuff?
Yeah, the shape changes. So one form.
No.
goes away,
You're not.
another comes
You're
in.
not. You're not just saying it changes. You're saying it as if the change which is occurring. You're making it out to be as if the shape of the statue, like the shape is acting on the stuff that the statue is made up of. Is that what you're saying when you say that there's like that the matter informs, or excuse me, the accidental form informs the matter?
Sorry,
Because that,
I didn't follow.
okay, you're saying that the accidental form informs new matter, right?
The matter stays the same.
New matter.
You mean
Matter is always
prime matter?
persistent. I didn't say prime matter. I said new matter.
What the heck is new matter, bro?
Holy shit. A fertilized zygote is new matter. There was an underlying persisting prime matter, which was like the stuff the sperm is made of, the stuff the egg is made of. But there's a new thing which comes into existence when they come together. Does that make sense?
Oh, so like a substance?
Holy shit.
You call a substance matter?
I'm not calling a substance matter. I'm saying like substances are made of new matter.
Substances are made of new matter. So you're saying substances are made of the combination of prime matter and form.
You're making this so difficult. It's not that hard. I gave you an example to literally understand it as easy as possible. You have sperm and egg. Sperm is made of stuff. Egg is made of stuff. When you put them together, new stuff comes. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So are you making the claim when you say accidental matter? For example, you could say an accidental form would be like your shape, your height, weight, things like this. Are you saying that these things are acting on the material constitution of the statue, or what? What is the interaction supposed to be? Oh, you are making that claim? So why would we think that, as opposed to just thinking that the stuff that the statue is made up out of is just being configured in a different manner, or is being arranged in a different way, such that it has a different shape? Why would I think that the shape is impacting the matter as opposed to the matter just being rearranged into a different shape?
Well, because matter by itself can't, like, I guess, do anything.
What are you talking? How does that diffuse the claim that I made? I'm talking about the relationship between the accidental form and the matter, and you're talking about the causal powers of matter. What does that have to do with my point?
Well, you're saying that the matter rearranged could do something like the statue melting. I'm saying it can't.
No, I'm saying the statue melting is just a rearrangement of matter, not that the accidental form of the statue is acting on the matter. And that's the mistake that you made when you thought that the interaction problem was an issue for our view.
Yeah, so if you think a statue melting is just matter rearranging, um, I
Pretty
think
intuitive. Pretty sure most people think that.
no, I think that's wrong because I think
What do
they're
you think is a better
different.
explanation? Please tell us the better explanation.
No, if you look at what form is, right, it's like the animating property of matter. It's things that
And there you
give
go,
matter
equivocating on form
specific
again,
things.
right? Because you're not just talking about form simplicity, you're talking about accidental form. So make sure not to equivocate on the term. Don't be using the same term in different ways.
It means
If
like
you're
the
gonna,
same
if you,
thing. It's just
no, it doesn't. You
yeah.
think form and accidental form mean the same thing?
You are so fucking stupid.
Yeah, see, that's your problem again.
They
You're
both
equivocating on these
animate
two.
matter. So in the
It's
sense
Just
not.
I'm
because they
using it,
look,
they're the same.
that's so stupid. That's like me saying my car and my bike can get me to Walmart, therefore they're both the same thing. Are you dumb or stupid? Which one is it?
In the sense I'm using it, you can use it that way. Is what I'm saying.
Bro, nobody thinks that a car and a bike are the same because they both get me to Walmart.
Well, if you're talking about things that get you to Walmart and you like, you can equivocate in that way.
What are you talking about, my guy? I'm trying to be nice to you, but you just keep the look. If you want me to be nice, don't be stupid. Stupidity pisses me off, and you're being very stupid right now. What are you
Okay.
saying?
I'll
Just
stop.
Especially when
just
yeah,
because my car and my fucking bike can get me to Walmart does not mean they're the same thing. So yes, I can agree that it's the case that form in both cases and forms matter. It doesn't mean that they're the same thing, right? Like, because you have an essential form and then you have an accidental form. So when you're talking about the essential form of a human, that's going to be indicative of like its rationality as part of its essential form. That's going to be very different from how much that human fucking weighs. It would be very idiotic for me to say that my rationality is the same thing as how much I weigh. What are you talking about? Do you see why I'm getting mad? This is straight idiocy.
Well, okay, but don't they both animate matter?
Yes. Doesn't mean they're the same thing. My car and my bike both get me to Walmart. It doesn't mean they're the same thing. So my rationality as being part of an essential feature of me and how much I weigh are not the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. So back to the original point that I was making is that you're making a mistake. Your mistake is thinking that the relationship between the accidental form of the statue, pre and post melting, and the form that it takes on, like,
Oh, it's unlocked.
sorry, my timer went off.
No.
And then the form, and then whatever shape or form or whatever it takes, once I guess the rock hardens or whatever the case may be, you're presuming that interaction is between two distinct things when it's just not. It's just a reconfiguration of something that was always there, right? So before the statue melted, the stuff that it was made up out of never really got lost. It was always there. It was just reconfigured into something new.
So it was reconfigured how?
By the process of melting. That is what caused the reconfiguration process.
Right, but like what is like melting in hylomorphism?
What is melting? The
Yeah.
stuff that the statue is made up out of.
But like what's happening to the substance is what I'm
The substance is reconfiguring.
So but what does that mean? Like what does that mean?
It means that it's taking on a new form.
Okay. Yeah, so that means the forms change, right? Do you sign off on that?
I don't know what you mean by the forms changed.
So a substance has an old form that goes away and a new form that comes in.
If by form you mean the accidental form changed, yes, I could be a different weight when I was 5 than I am today. Yes, that's a type of change.
Okay.
But my essential form didn't change. The essential form of the statue didn't change.
Right, but accidental form and essential form both animate matter.
Yes.
Therefore, accidental form and matter interact. Therefore, form and matter interact. I don't understand.
Look, this is your argument. My bike and my car both get me to Walmart.
That's a
Therefore,
straw man. I didn't say that.
it's not a straw man. This is an analogy. So listen, right? My bike and my car both get me to Walmart. And if I change the tires on my bike, therefore I've changed the tires on my car. That is your argument right now. Basic, like, what are you saying to me, dude? Does that even make sense to you? What just came out of my mouth?
The interaction problem applies to form and matter.
Brother,
Holy fucking shit.
what I just said to you, did it make sense?
Yeah, but it's not analogous.
What I said to you did make sense if I changed my tire on my
No, that did not
bike?
make sense.
Okay, great. So just because it's the case that both of them can get me to Walmart doesn't mean that a change in one results in a change in the other, correct? Like I could change the tires on my bike and keep the same tires on my car and nothing about that has changed. Or you could even say the nature of transportation has never changed, right? Even if I change the tires on both, it would still be the case that the nature of transportation, which is your ability to move from one place to another, that always remained. Correct?
Yeah.
Great. So think about that as the underlying substance which persists through the change of the melting, right? Or the reconfiguration is what we've tagged it as. So it doesn't matter if the statue is being melted, if it's being broken, if it's being stepped on, whatever, however way that you decide to change the fucking statue. The point is that there's something which remains, right? And that's the actual form.
Okay.
So that doesn't change.
That's fine. That doesn't have anything to do with.
If that's
what I said.
fine, then your objection fails.
No.
Yo, hi, you are so fucking stupid, bro.
Bro. Well, I can't help this.
I'm pretty sure he's trolling, bro. There's
I'm
no
not
way this
trolling.
fucking simple.
Bro, was
he
your
probably
entire
did.
objection not literally contingent on the idea that if accidental form changes the matter, then it would result in an interaction issue?
Yeah, that is my objection.
And did we not literally just diffuse the claim that
I
that
don't
assumption?
understand how what you said diffuses that. From my understanding, what you said says that prime matter is different from or prime form is different from essential form is different from accidental form, which I agree with.
That's not all I said. That's just part of what I said. I'm going to explain the other part of what I said again. So we've already settled the fact that there's a distinction between essential form and accidental form. And also, I'm making the claim that in the case where even if accidental form changes, it does not necessarily result in a change in the essential form. And the essential form is what's relevant for the relationship between the form and matter, not the accidental form.
Why?
Because
Holy equivocation on
it's
forms,
part
bro.
of the fucking thesis, dude. That's just what the view is saying.
So you're saying that matter and accidental form don't interact?
No, they can. And accidental form can change. Your weight can change. Your height can change. Your fucking, I don't know. Think about anything that's not essential to you. How long your fingernails are. All these things can change. It doesn't result in a change in your essential fucking features. Like the fact that you're living.
I agree
The
with
fact
that.
that you're irrational. Okay, great.
But
So then you would.
you just said that accidental form and matter interact. Therefore, they're subject to the interaction problem.
No, just because. Look, what do you think an interaction is?
An interaction is one thing influencing another.
Okay,
I feel like I'm
just
being
don't.
gaslit right now. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
feel like we are with your chat GBT argument. Next time, go research the arguments against what you're stating, right? A simple search can say, oh, yeah, well, I looked it up, or based on the SEOP argument, right? The arguments that you're giving with the
What do you think the
statute.
interaction problem is? Sorry, Mike.
You're good. You're good.
It's
That's all I
just
was gonna say.
saying that like matter and form are in like two different
No,
planes,
no,
therefore they
no.
shouldn't interact.
You're a fucking idiot. When Princess Elizabeth lays it out, what is the interaction problem saying?
Princess Elizabeth.
Holy shit, you're a fucking moron.
Is that why you didn't engage with me? Oh, wait,
Yeah.
that actually works out. Never mind.
Okay, so you don't know. Okay, so look. When Princess Elizabeth put the interaction problem towards Descartes, what the interaction problem was trying to say is trying to discuss the vagueness with respect to the ontological distance between two substances. With respect to hylomorphism, there is no ontological difference between two substances because A, they're not two substances. Okay, they're the same substance composed of two principles. And then with respect to accidental forms are dependents with respect to the substance. Does that make sense to you?
They're dependent within the substance.
No, they're dependents.
Newsflash: dependence is a type of interaction. Oh my god, mind blown. Did you know that? There's so
Probably.
much you don't know, bro. There's so much you don't know, my guy.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you what you mean by interaction.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing, bro?
Did you read Ed Fazer's treatment of that particular issue that you gave, the statue?
No, I used to go on Discord calls with this guy called Nathan
That's
Sweden.
my issue. Like, you got to look into before you're gonna like try to like come up with these arguments. You also got to look to see if it's already been addressed, because that's what's going to happen in these particular conversations.
Bro, come on, bro. We've been reading hylomorphism for how long, and you're coming at us with the fucking interaction problem? Like, we dealt with this shit like 4 years ago, my guy. You got to catch up.
Well, that's why most philosophers don't take dualism seriously.
Substance dualism.
Yes, oh my god, now you're equivocating on dualism, bro.
Substance dualism isn't in hylomorphism.
Well, they don't take hylomorphism seriously either.
I mean, a lot of philosophers are physicalists, and they don't have any good defense for that.
There's a reason for that.
The majority of philosophers are physicalists, which is crazy.
Do you even know why a lot of philosophers are physicalists, since you're claiming that there's a reason for it?
Yeah, it's because of the interaction problem.
And what is the evidence that you have to demonstrate this being the case?
It's because of what's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? You're gonna cite me one person?
Yo, Kay, did you notice that he'll like come and attack views with like their weakest objection? Like he'll come up to flow debaters and say that the egg has a flow, and then he'll come up to hylomorphist saying the interaction problem.
It's like these like basic level one objections.
Yeah, he'll
Look,
like get like the most basic objection and just run with it.
That's all chat
I'm confused because, look, in order for you to even be justified in making the claim that like this is the specific reason why most philosophers are physicalists, you would need some type of survey, which you don't have. And you're about to cite me one person as evidence for what most majority philosophers believe. That's not going to be sufficient, dude.
Well, I could Google what, metaphysics most philosophers hold to.
That's not going to answer my question, because the question isn't what metaphysics most philosophers hold to. I'm asking you if you have any evidence for the claim specifically that this is the explicit reason, or even the most commonly held reason, why philosophers are physicalists.
Oh yeah, that's
And I'm
it.
telling
I
you,
figured out his name. His name is Professor Dave. He said
And you-
most philosophers reject dualism because of interaction problem. And Nathan
Oh,
Sweden
really?
also said that. He's a physics
Equivocating on dualism, dip ass.
so your evidence is some professor said so?
Yeah.
Nice one, man. Good one. Jesus Christ, bro.
To be fair, Kay, it's not just any professor. It's Professor Dave, bro.
Are you a moral realist? Are you a moral realist? Hi, I'm just curious.
I'm agnostic. I don't really know.
Okay, I'm just curious about that, because like if you're just going off of like majority of people like what they view, right? I think Lance Bush even like address it or even talks about this as an anti-realist, that there's been studies that show that a majority of like philosophers are realist. Now I'm pretty sure most anti-realists are going to say like, oh, well, that's not an argument like that should adopt that view just because a majority of people hold that.
I'm not saying you
Bree
should
wants to
adopt it
know.
because of that. I'm just saying, they might have a good reason for that. Who knows?
Bree wants to know the real reason why most philosophers are physicalists. So I'll just tell her, and then maybe this will help Hai as well. So the actual reason why is because most philosophers accept what's called the causal closure principle. Okay, and it's basically a majorly held assumption in most contemporary philosophy that for any physical event X, it will have an accommodating, sufficient physical cause, right? So that's going to be kind of this assumption that a lot of contemporary philosophers assume in the background, and they mostly accept it to be true. It's kind of like this uncontroversial thing. And then the other kind of big thing is simplicity. So a lot of philosophers just think that physicalism is just simpler than the rival theories, that it's able to explain all of the phenomenal data that we have without needing to posit this, these extravagant entities like other domains of existence and, double substances and whatnot. Like you don't need to posit all those things. And then the third one is just how well it fits with our already accepted scientific theories and our empirical theories, right? So there's this kind of like fit theories and our empirical theories and our empirical theories and our empirical.
Yeah, that's the